Let's start Rabbi's side and finish off the sugya. I'm not sure if we'll finish today, but we'll try to finish off the sugya of Makeh BePatish. So today I want to discuss a Gemara in Beitza Daf Chof Ches Amud Beis, where the Gemara in Beitza Chof Ches Amud Beis tells us Ein mashchizin es hasakin. Ein mashchizin es hasakin means that when you have a knife and this knife which you used became dull, it became blunt, and you want to sharpen that knife. The halacha is, apart from other isurim that may be involved as well, is the isur of Makeh BePatish. Now, what's the chiddush? And how do we know the practical nafkaminas from this Gemara to Makeh BePatish that we're going to be discussing? We learned until now that Makeh BePatish is finishing something off. It's the final hammer blow of whatever it is. Now it's complete. Now it's ready to go. Now it's usable. Over here, the Gemara is telling us something very different. The Gemara is telling us something new. I have a knife. I used the knife. The knife was gewaldig. I happened to have used it maybe in the wrong way, maybe too much, whatever. It became dull, it became blunt. Now I'm going to re-mechadish the knife. I'm going to resharpen it so that it works again. It goes back to its original form. Why is that Makeh BePatish? So the answer is like this. Sforim Mekdoshim bring b'shem many of the Rishonim, the Rashba, the Ran, and other Gedolei Rishonim, that they say the pshat like this. That when you have an item, and that item can no longer be used, you've been mevatel it m'shem kli. It's no longer got a shem kli on it. It's not a usable item. It's garbage. It's not worth anything. Now I go along and make it usable. So I finished off the kli again. It's not the pshat that, it's been done already, it's been used already, therefore you can no longer be over Makeh BePatish. You can in this situation. And that's the chiddush of the Gemara. It says the Rishonim. The Rishonim say the chiddush of this Gemara in Beitza Chof Ches, Ein mashchizin es hasakin, is that when I have something and I'm fixing it from its broken usage, because it was Mavatal Shem Kli originally, that's an issa Makeh BePatish, right? It's almost like, even though it's very different, but just the idea. The Rishonim ask a kasha, if you have chicken soup on Shabbos Kodesh that cools down, and you reheat that on Shabbos. Let's not get involved now. Is there yesh bishul acha bishul, ein bishul acha bishul? I don't know. Well, when we get to bishul, maybe we'll discuss it. But what's the reason that if I have soup that went cold, that reheating it is called bishul? It's cooked already. It's completely cooked. So how you mavashal it? By heating up chicken soup, right? Yeah, are you with me? Yeah. Good kasha. What's the answer? The answer, Mr. Brewer brings it down, and that is when something goes cold, it's mevatel the shem bishul, it's mevatel the shem cooked. And therefore it's by liquid dafka, not by a solid. We'll talk about it maybe when we get to bishul. But I'll go upon him, the Indian basically is that when something loses its ikashimush, the way it's meant to be used, chicken soup is meant to be eaten hot. Cold chicken soup, it's not the same thing. Right? Mimela, when you go along and heat up the chicken soup, what have you done? You've been masakin it. You've done something called bishul. The Mimela zut the Gemara in Beitza Chof Ches, zabazach over here. You have a knife, it was usable, it became blunt, I resharpen it, Makeh BePatish. Okay.
What about just making it better?
That can also be a problem.
So you can do Makeh BePatish 1,000 times with the same knife in 1 second?
It depends, maybe.
You do it once, twice, 3 times.
Oh, no. You mean it's usable, if it's usable after the first, whatever you do, that wouldn't be Makeh BePatish, it could be Makeh though. It could be another issa called Makeh, which is, we'll get you for anything, don't worry. Anyway, let me give the nafkaminas la halacha l'maisa. Does the olim know what a shoe tree is?
I know money grows in trees. I didn't know shoes do.
Find me those trees, please. Then we'll get tissues in the base medrash, maybe, you know? This is the advert. Maybe someone will send me an email. Oh, you need tissues? $1 million. Okay, Rabbi says nobody knows what shoe trees? What's an English thing? It's not an American thing? What do the Americans call it? It's American also. It's just you have to be more than. I should have brought one in. It's basically it's either plastic or wood. They have different one, metal even, with a piece that you put it into the shoe. You insert it into the shoe, and it keeps the form of the shoe. Right? Often people keep their shoes that way to keep up the shape, whatever. Now, to put one of those in on Shabbos Kodesh, what's the issa? I don't see anything wrong with that whatsoever. The shoe is a beautiful shoe. It's a usable shoe. There's no reason by putting it in just to keep the form that it is the problem on Shabbos Kodesh. So I'm asking that will be okay. However, Zug the Heilige Minchas Yitzchak in Shuvas Chelik Yud. Zug the Minchas Yitzchak, what happens if you're in the rain, La Aleinu, you're in the rain, Depends where you live in the world, right? There are some places in the world that this is a regular, normal Shabbos event. But Mevin Yavin the Olam knows exactly what I'm talking about. And you come back from the rain. No, you have no idea. I thought so. And you come back from the rain, and your shoes are all out of shape. The first thing you do when you take off your shoes is put the shoe tree in. That's the problem with the Minchas Yitzchak. That's Tikkun Moed. That's Makeh BePatish. Because right now, what have you done? That's the Gemara in Beitza. Chof Chesam Beis. Eimer Shchizin Es HaSakin. The shoe in its non-good form will not be usable. Won't be so geschmack. It's not great. When you put the shoe tree in and you machzir it back, you bring it back to its original form, that's a problem of Makeh BePatish. Now, by the way, this could be a nafkamina if it's tight or not tight. For example, let's say your lens falls out of the frame on Shabbos, right? This could happen. The lens pops out. Are you allowed to just pop it back in or not? So it really depends if it's loose or tight. If it's something that's very loose, it happens all the time. So that's not considered to be Makeh BePatish. You haven't finished it. It's still loose. It's going to come out again, and it's okay. But put it in. It's like it can require a whole avoida to stick in the lenses. Then that is going to be a problem in that case, because at the end of the day, it's not made to come out. Yesterday, if you remember, we said that when you have a salt shaker, the ishtamshus of the kli is by opening and closing the lid. And forget, if I don't close the lid, if I cannot get it off, the kli's broken. So hu hadin, by the way, for those of you that know that you have strollers, you have buggies that have the wheels that are detachable, right? It's very negay when you go in the car, for example, you could take off the wheels, or when you're traveling, or things like that. They have strollers that have wheels that you could take it off. These things are meant to come off on a basically daily basis if you want them to. Little click and they come off, right? You have a high chair, for example, right? That clicks on, right? Sometimes the tray of the high chair, you could click it off, you could click it on. That's not Makeh BePatish, these things, because these things are made to go on and come off. That's not Makeh BePatish. Whereas the glasses lens is not made to come out and in. So if it's loosely, but if it's tight, it's a problem. If the handle of a they're getting it with gold, a little bit of bone over here. But if a handle of a door comes off and you stick it in, that could be even a problem, even if it's loose, because there's a gazeri you might come along and screw the screws in there, which obviously is a problem. But in the case, for example, like they have forks. I don't know if you've seen this. They have plastic forks that in the middle of the handle of the fork, there's a little piece. You can snap it off and it becomes a toothpick. Shlomi, you know what I'm talking about, right? No. You were nodding like, yeah, Vada.
No, but they use a toothpick.
Ah, okay. So, Shimon, you know what I'm talking about, right? They have such a dach, right? So, to take that off, Mutzah Asr on Shabbos Kodesh.
Hello? Yeah. You're not making it into a kli, it's already there.
So it's okay.
The forks that come in the
No, there's not, because it's only one.
No, the forks to come to the but just bent in half, just folding them. That's for sure okay. I'm talking about in the middle of the fork of the night, they have a toothpick, you snap it off, and it's a toothpick.
No, the flosser, that you hold them and that's okay. The floss is the...
Ah, very good. That could be a problem, Makeh BePatish, because it wasn't usable in its natural form. And therefore, by detaching it, by snapping it off, there maybe not. Maybe if it's foldable easily, that could be okay by the flossers. Right. So that could be okay. That could be like the what do you call them? The fork on this. Right. Exactly. That could be absolutely fine. That's not a problem. Let's move on, Rabbi. So another example of Makeh BePatish. The Magen Avraham and Simon Shin Mem tells us like this. Says the Magen Avraham and Simon Shin Mem. What happens if you have a needle and the needle got bent? Are you allowed to bend it back into shape? So the Magen Avraham says, absolutely not. Now, Lamaisa, be'etzem, it was working. You didn't fix it. No gzeira. There's no gzeiras here. We'll talk about gzeiras another time. We'll get to the rafts. We'll talk all about that. None of these are gzeiras. This is me'ika adin. Some of them avos malachis, right? So if you have the Magen Avraham, a piece of metal, that's a needle, something like that, and it's bent, what's that? Oh, says Rabbi Wittenstein, what happens if the glasses got bent? Right? You woke up in the morning, you turned over, the glasses were next to you, boom! So what do you do? You want to put it back into shape. Avadanisht. Avadanisht, that's an issa Makeh BePatish. It's mamish an issa Makeh BePatish for a person to do that with his glasses, with anything in that case. What about, for example...
Glasses, though. It's not like salt shaker where you can live without the salt.
And therefore?
I need my steak.
That's
it's like just check the count.
I need the lights on. It doesn't. I need to use a baby wipe to clean the baby. I'm so sorry. What do you want me to do? First time this month. That's pretty impressive, by the way. We've done like a few shows on Shabbos, and that's the first time. Should be impressed, by the way. What about a hat? A what? What about a hat on Shabbos that gets bashed? According to Magen Avraham, are you allowed to put the hat back into its shape? Zug Israel, no. Aval Dish, why not? Because it's Magen Avraham, right? Is that true?
I would assume not. Why would a hat be different from?
Very good. Why would a hat be different? No, anyone has the teretz? Why would a hat be different?
It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be smashed.
It gets squashed.
Get squashed off. No.
Oh, so Dubi says it's a normal thing. Yidavus. Oh, so that's basically what Dubi was saying. It's a normal thing to get bashed. It's not considered to be that it's ois kli when it's not, when it's a bit bashed. That happens all the time. Someone sits on it and it was a normal event.
Someone has a nice Shabbos hat. When somebody smashes their hat, they bug out.
That could be. That's irrelevant. That they have to work on their midas, whether or not.
But that makes it not a normal thing.
No, he's upset that it happened to his hat. But it's not like, oh my God, it's probably the second and third time it happened. It happens. It's not a crazy
Every
thing.
day, they don't care anymore.
Shabbos.
Look around the room.
It's Chassid Sha'id, seems. I hope not. Huh? No, they don't. Glasses bend out of shape the whole time? No. Who wears glasses over here? Glasses bend out of shape the whole time? Zog Reb Moshe finds in the Igros Moshe and many other Gedolei Poskim, a hat is not a problem because a hat is so easily put back. They say if it's very, very hard. We have any Sfardim over here? We should ask this question at the beginning to see if there's any Sfardim over here. We don't have. Chacham ben Tzina Bashaul brings down in Ole Tzion Chelek Bet that he says that you can't put down a hat if it gets completely bashed. You can't put it back to its shape. But for sure, if it gets a little flick in it, a little bash in it, it's 100%. According to basically everyone, there's no problem in putting it back in that case. That will be absolutely fine. By the way, there's a Makeh BePatish Chai. Yesterday was the outside. The Ben Ish Chai writes a Gavaldige Zach. It's in Bereshis Ois Gimel, where the Ben Ish Chai writes, what happens if a person's tzitzis are completely tangled? I'm talking about with 100% kosher. We're not discussing hilchos tzitzis. It's a kosher pair of tzitzis. The tzitzis are completely tangled. Can I untangle them on Shabbos? Look, the Ben Ish Chai, that's Makeh BePatish. You can't untangle the tzitzis when they're completely frizzled up and everything, right? And you wake up in the morning and there they are. So you can't untangle those. Again, it's 100% kosher. You can't untangle that on Shabbos Kodesh in that case. By the way, what about if you have a bottle that becomes smashed? Are you allowed to unsmash it, reopen it? Open it up and try to, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I guess. Well, yeah. Who said that?
Now you can't put the ear from the outside of the bottom.
What if you have a candy wrapper, a sweet wrapper, right? The kids do this sometimes in shul. Is you straighten it out. You take your fingernail and you straighten it out. Oh, don't even look. I'm not the only crazy one. Say that, okay, right? You straighten out on Shabbos. Is that Makeh BePatish? Zug the poskim. Something that's as simple as that is not a problem of Makeh BePatish, and that would be okay. Rabbi Say, Be'ez Hashem on what's that? Oh, very good. There wouldn't be Makeh Pashtus, no. Not tomorrow. Sunday, Be'ezus Hashem, we're going to go through the sugya of different types of toys and watches on Shabbos Kodesh. Join us then. Have a wonderful day.